everyone, welcome back to the channel. The past 2 weeks have been hectic but yet exciting. We had launches like Sky, Faber, Penrith, and now we're actually moving on to Zion. So as we wrap up 2025, the final new launch, it's gonna be the Sand. So before we dive right in, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all the viewers and also clients who have been following through these videos, and especially to those who have reached out, trusted my advice and secured a unit this year. So I'm truly grateful for your support. Alright, so as we move on, I actually created this Telegram channel. I hope you can actually scan this QR code and then follow me through Telegram, and I'll share with you everything about properties under the sun. Alright, so let's get started. This is the Sand. So the Sand actually derives from Zen, you know, as in Z-E-N, Zen. Reflecting calm and mindfulness inspired by Japanese Zen gardens and rice terrace landscape. So it has a low density enclave surrounded by Bukit Batok Nature Park and Bukit Timah Nature Reserve and Rail Corridor. So it's really a very nature place lah. And it's located near Beauty World. So this is a picture of how the Zen look like. You have nature everywhere around your doorsteps, and residents can really enjoy the access to the largest, most untouched nature reserve and green corridors in Singapore. So more about the Sand. It's located in District 21, which is at Upper Bukit Timah or Beauty World or the Hume area. So it's classified under RCR zoning. It has 5 blocks of 10 stories. The area are actually mostly low-rise, so it's pretty rare to have such a high-rise building over there. And there is also a childcare center over there, and it's suitable for growing families. So there are a total of 347 units, and there's 1-to-1 car park lots, which means 347 car park lots, including 10 EV chargers. Expected to TOP in August 2029. So developer is SL Capital. It's a joint venture between 4 reputable names in Singapore: Sustain Land, Holy Group, H10 Holdings, and Great View Development. They are established in 2006, one of Singapore's most active boutique developers. So they're actually known for creating functional and stylish high-quality homes. For Sustain Land, right? You can see they built Sky Everton, Coastline, 1 Mayor, and 3 Cascadian. So the Sand is located in the landed enclave. There's a reserve site behind, and I'll share more later on the master plan. It's 3 minutes drive to either Hume MRT station or Beauty World MRT station. Walking takes about 19 minutes to either of the stations. There are 2 bus stops right outside the development, which I feel this is awesome. 5 minutes drive to PIE, 7 minutes drive to BKE, and minutes drive to lots of the schools, example SUSS, SIM, NP, Methodist Girls School, NJC, Hwa Chong Institute, and NUS. So connectivity to Hume MRT station, right? This is located, the bus stop is located at the side gate of the Sand. So buses going to Hume MRT station, Boon Lay, UT, Yishun, and Ang Mo Kio. So the bus stop that is at the front gate, there are 7 buses, and these buses lead you to Beauty World, Holland Village, Chinatown, Clarke Quay, Harbourfront, Bugis, Lavender, Aljunied, Ubi, Jurong East, MacRitchie Reservoir, Toa Payoh, Tengah, Boon Keng, Kallang. To be honest, the list is, I haven't finished up the entire list. There's a lot of places that the buses actually travel to. Okay, so if you can see on the MRT map, Hume MRT station and Beauty World, they're actually quite close to city centre. Alright, for amenities, we can see on the picture right here that there is Giant and FairPrice. Coffee shop, there are a couple of coffee shops, and hawker centre, there are actually 2. Bukit Timah Wet Market and Food Court, and also the Beauty World Food Centre. Just take note that this Bukit Timah Hawker Centre, they are actually on renovation. So for schools wise, there are actually quite a number of schools nearby. There's childcare center within the development, Bukit Timah Primary School within 1 kilometer. There is Pei Hwa Presbyterian Primary within 2 kilometers, Methodist Girls School 9 minutes drive, Nanyang Girls School, 10 minutes drive, so on and so forth. There's a lot of schools within minutes, 15 minutes drive in fact. Let's move on to the site plan. So there are a total of 5 blocks up to 10 stories. So towards the north, we are actually facing Bukit Batok Reserve, which is extremely nice and beautiful. Towards the east is a reserve site, and on the master plan, you can see it's yellow in color. Reserve site means that the specific use has yet to be determined. And towards the south, right, is a future residential development. Towards the west, which is the front part of the development, the front gate, it is actually looking at the park that is right in front of the landed enclave. Okay, so in these 5 blocks, right inside in the middle, there's actually 2 swimming pools. One is the 50 meters lap pool. So block to block, it is actually about 35 meters apart. So it's quite wide. And towards the right side of the development, there is a family pool. And this family pool, the block to block, is about 29 meters apart. There's also a tennis court which is sunken in, so it is good because it can absorb all the noise. Alright, so this is some of the perspective of the development. You can take a look at how the swimming pool is. So the 50 meters lap pool, right, is located on the 2nd floor pool deck. Okay, then there's a family pool on the right. So this is actually an example of how it will look like at block 222, 5th floor facing. So you can see that it actually overlooks all the trees and it's really beautiful. Okay, this is block 222, 10th floor. We can see the Bukit Timah, the twin tower, right? And moving on to the view of block 226. This is on the 5th floor. So everything is really nice, all the views. Imagine waking up to this misty vibe. Yeah, do you feel that you're in Genting, not in Singapore? So this is the view on the 10th floor. And I actually have like this drone view of the whole entire development of how it will look like. So if you are looking for a specific stack or a specific block, you can DM me and I can share with you. And then we move on to have a look at how block 230 will look like. Okay, so just take note that there will be a future residential development. Unsure when yet. So this is how it will look like on the 5th floor and on the 10th floor. Alright, and then if you are internal facing, this is how it will look like from block 226, inward facing. So you get to see the family pool and also the 50 meters lap pool. Here is a perspective of the drop-off foyer, the clubhouse. Okay, one detail I really like about this clubhouse, right, is actually residents can actually use the space freely even when it's not booked. So the management can allow you to cordon off like different section of the clubhouse for your own personal use or dining. So normally you actually have to make a formal reservation, but for this, as long as there's no one using, you can actually use it. Yeah, but of course if there's someone who have already reserved, then you cannot use lah. Yeah, so it's a small gesture. It shows how the developer designed the facilities with daily livability and flexibility in mind. Alright, and this is the gym, so overlooking the swimming pool, and there's a hot and cold bath, very Japanese style. So for the rooftop, there are also facilities. There's even a Pilates pavilion. I like how the developers are trying to really keep up with all the trends. Okay, so just a commercial break. Remember to follow my Telegram channel. I'll share with you more about everything property related. Alright, so unit distribution, there are actually 1 bedroom all the way until 4 bedrooms. Just take note that for 1 bedder, right, there's only 10 units in this development. So for 1 and 2 bedrooms is about 51% out of the entire development. For 3 and 4 bedrooms, they are 49% out of the entire development. So for the 2 bedders, there are actually about 167 units. And I do feel that the developer is actually targeting those next generation of Bukit Timah families. So what I mean by that is those, okay, I'm sure all of you know that Bukit Timah, there's a lot of like affluent, matured, landed enclave. So those owners who have like their children, adult children, like maybe about 20 to 40 years old, they are planning to actually move out from their parents' home, but they also want to stay close to their parents. So the developers are actually targeting this group of people. Whereas for the 3 bedders, right, we have the young family but yet near family, near their parents. So we have the 872 square feet all the way up to 1001 square feet. So this is to attract all the young families, those that have like probably 1 to 2 kids, but yet still need to stay close to their parents because they need the support of their parents. So the sand itself is actually designed using the APCS, which is the Advanced Precast Concrete System. It's a high quality construction method known for stronger walls and better sound insulation. So also definitely the sand is a new GFA harmonized scheme. So there's better space efficiency, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so for bedrooms wise, right, the master bedroom can actually fit a king size bed, and for bedroom 2 and 3, you can actually fit a queen size bed. So moving on to the price, we have a guide price for you guys. One bedroom, which is 452 square feet, starting from $993,000, 2001 PSF. 2 bedroom, 678 square feet, starting from 1.49 million, 2002 PSF. 3 bedroom, 872 square feet, 1.9, 2002 PSF. 3-bedder Prestige, 1259 square feet, 2.8 million, 2003 PSF. 4-bed Prestige, 1004 square feet, 3.3 million, and 2002. So on average, the sand is going to be launching around 2002 to 2003 PSF. So here is the estimated price metrics that you can actually take a look. We already have the official guide price in blue. Yeah, so prices will be starting from that price. All right. I'm pretty sure most of you will definitely compare the sand to Faber. Faber Residences have been launched last week, very successful. 86% sold out on launch day itself. It was packed. The show flat was packed. Yeah, so Faber launched at 2001 all the way to 2002 PSF on average, and it's at OCR. And now the sand, right, even though it's at RCR, Bukit Timah, Upper Bukit Timah, the starting is slightly above 2002 all the way to 2003 PSF. So effectively, you're actually buying an RCR project with Bukit Timah address and nature surrounding at a similar entry price to what buyers have bought in Faber at OCR. Yeah, so this is the land bid price for the sand. The bid was at $844 PSF PPR. So every time, okay, when we talk about prices, we have to talk about future prices, present prices, and the past prices. So for future prices, right, okay, this actually will help us to navigate us throughout this whole process lah. So for future prices, we can actually see the sand over here, the green color bar is at 841. We can see that subsequently, it was actually bidded in 2024. So 2025, there are lands that were bidded as well. Example, Bayshore already at 1388, Dunnan Road at 1134. So everything is actually above 1,000 already. And we can even see that land bid at Woodlands and Senja, and those are ECs, right? The prices bidded was super close to what the sand has bidded for. Yes, so you can think about how well priced this development is going to be lah. So these are the land bids that have bidded mostly this year, and from this land bid price, right, we can actually estimate what will the future price be. So for RCR, you can see that they have already transacted at 1004 PSF. River Valley, that's the parcel B, already at 1004 as well, and Dunnan Road at 1004. OCR, places like Chuan Grove, Dorset Road, Chuan Grove, there are 2 land plots, and Bayshore, they already transacted they were bidded at 1003 PSF. And Dairy Farm Residences, I'm so sorry, Dairy Farm Walk, Media Circle, Upper Thomson, and Lakeside, they were transacted at 1000 PSF and above. So 1000 to 1001. Even the further OCR location, right, like Tengah, Lentor Gardens, and Chencharu Close, they have already bidded at 820 all the way to 980 PSF, which is actually on par or even slightly higher than the SEN's land bid price, which is located in RCR. So this is how we can actually estimate what the future launches might be selling at. We can see that for Dunnan Road, it might be selling at 2009 PSF. For Holland Link, probably about 2008 PSF. For Bayshore, around 2008 PSF. So for Chuan Grove, estimated price will be estimated going at 2008 PSF. For Chencharu Close, estimated at 2003. And for Lakeside, estimated to be around 2006 PSF already. And can you imagine the SEN at Upper Bukit Timah is actually going at 2002 to 2003 PSF. So I'm not sure if you know, there's this thing called the affordability compression effect. So imagine if your budget today is going at $2 million, you can actually get a proper 3-bedroom at the SEN, 872 square feet. But because of all these new land bids that are going up higher and higher, developers in future, they will definitely have to sell higher. The same 2 million budget that you have today may not be able to get you a 3-bedroom in probably next year or 2 years down the road. Yeah, so in short, today's 3-bed may become tomorrow's 2-bedder. Today's 2-bedder may become a 1-bedder tomorrow. Yeah. So moving on to talk about present prices. So the new launches in RCR currently, they're actually launching around 2004 all the way up to 3002 PSF. So even within the same District 21 Bukit Timah region, right? Projects like Nava Grove, Pine Tree Hill, they are already transacted at 2004 PSF to 2005 on average. So the SEN coming in at about 2002 PSF, right? Buyers are actually entering at like 10 to 15% below the rest of them. So this actually gives a very healthy price cushion, and you're buying something that is new and at a level that is actually below the market average. So you can see from this graph that the average of District 21, the new launches price are actually hovering around 2005, but the SEN you're actually entering below. So there's quite a gap over there. Okay, and for the new launches in RCR, we can actually see that the average PSF is already at 2003 PSF. So there's 2003 all the way, even Chuan Park, average PSF is already 2005, and these locations are in OCR. And now moving on to talking about the resale transactions. So if you notice, right, many of the resale projects in District 21, 8BT, The Link, Pine Tree Hill, they are really transacting at 2005 all the way to 2007 PSF. So when a brand new launch like the SEN starting around 2002 is actually giving you a very comfortable buffer lah. Yeah, you're essentially entering something new at a price that is below what the buyers have already paid for. Yeah, this is what we call a safe entry price. Okay, so it's not about like chasing those low prices, but really entering at a right value. Okay, then something that I actually pulled out at Reserve Residences. This was transacted in October 2024. It was a 3-bedder, 1,335 square feet, transacted at 3.4 million, going at 2005 PSF. So if we were actually to compare it to the 3-bed Prestige in the SEN, right, 1,259 square feet, going at starting from 2.89 million, 2003 PSF. Okay, so if we were to compare the floor plan directly, right, for this particular unit that have been transacted, we can see that for Reserve Residences, the 3-bedder is a dumbbell layout. There's no landscape living, no extra study. There's also a long aircon ledge which is included into the size. So the actual space probably, if we minus off, is around 1,241 square feet around there because of the aircon ledge and even the curtain walls. So with both comparing to the SEN, right, you can see the SEN's floor plan. Once you enter, you have a dry wet kitchen, you have a utility home shelter, you get this landscape living area and dining area. You even have a powder room and additional study, huge bedrooms as well. So to be honest, if we were to compare these two, imagine today you are comparing with the buyer who bought Reserve Residences, 4 years later, if both of you want to profit around 300,000. So in 2029, right, if he were to be selling at, example, 3.7 million, and for you, you purchase, say for example, at 2.9, and you want to sell it at 3.2 million versus his 3.7, who do you think can actually exit easier, right? So we can compare the price, number one, and also the floor plan. Yeah. So let's take a look at the profitable transactions of the nearby condominiums. We have Park Natura, Springdale, and also Signature Park. So projects over here, right, they were actually built 20 years ago. They have consistently appreciated because of the limited supply and the family demand over there. Of course, the entry price back then were much lower, so their profits is a lot more. But this is just to show you that the resilience of Bukit Timah in the long-term property market here. Alright, so this is a quick look of the nearby projects that are slightly newer. Okay, so we have Verdell, Daintree Residences, and View at Kismis. So with all of these, you can see that the profits were ranging around 400,000, 700,000, 400,000, all the way up to 200,000 onwards. So these are actually all within the Beauty World Upper Bukit Timah area, and most of the resale transactions, they have been profitable. And this shows that the market here, right, is actually very healthy and stable. Owners who entered a few years earlier, they are still able to exit despite the higher interest rate back then and also the slower resale climate. So I'm sharing this not as a promise of future returns, but to actually give you a sense of how the market has behaved historically, which is very steady demand and realistic appreciation. Okay. If any of you here are looking to rent out, these are some of the renters over here, so we can take a look at the price range. So for example, 3-bedder is very healthy rental of 4,200 ranging all the way up to 5,000 or even 6,000 at Daintree Residences. Okay, floor plans, I wouldn't go through every floor plan because there's really too much, but I just wanted to highlight a few of the floor plans that quite stood out to me. So first is actually this 2-bedroom. It's the show unit. I've seen the show flat. Oh my god. Yeah, I really love it. So maybe you can also take a look at it. I love the floor tiles. It's the homogeneous tiles and also the sintered stone at the kitchen. For the 2-bedroom, right, it's 678 square feet. First, once you enter, you have this tucked away kitchen, which is super rare for a two-bedder. And second thing, there's a window at the kitchen. Okay, so as you enter the dining and the living, you get this 3-meter living room width, and the master bedroom is actually huge. It's 13 square meter, and there's also an additional corridor window, so sunlight can actually enter through the corridor. Yeah, so this 2-bedroom layout is actually one of the best that I've seen so far, and to be honest, the quality is quite good from what I've seen on the SHOWFLAT. For this 3-bedroom, 872 square feet is a true dumbbell layout, which means very efficient space. There's a utility. So normally, right, for 3-bedrooms, the smaller 3-bedrooms for other projects, they don't really have like a storeroom or home shelter. But for this 3-bedroom, there's actually a utility provided. 3.2 meters living room width and also a huge master bedroom. Okay. And my favorite layout is actually this 3-bed plus study, 1,259 square feet. It's a landscape. To be honest, if compared to other projects, right, 3-bedders these days do not have this landscape living and dining area anymore. But for this, there is. So 5 meters width. There's a dry and even a wet kitchen, study room, powder room, huge master bedroom, and there's also a Jack and Jill bathroom for both of the common bedrooms. So, one thing I wanted to share with you, for the first floor and the top floor units, right, they have really high ceiling of close to 4 meters, and the developers are actually giving it for free. They are not charging it, and another thing was they also provide balcony screens. So I was quite wow when I viewed the SHOWFLAT. Okay, let's take a look at the Bukit Timah demographics. This is actually quite interesting. Bukit Timah actually ranked number 3rd in Singapore for the percentage of household earnings above 20,000, just after Tanglin and River Valley. So this actually tells us that the residents over here are quite high income families. They are mainly professionals, business owners, second generation landed owners who have lived here for many years. And this is important to note. Why? Because in real estate, right, areas with high income demographics, they tend to have what? More stable prices, stronger upgrading demand within the district, and a larger pool of cash-rich buyers. Yeah. Okay, so whether you are thinking of investing or buying into the sand, you are essentially positioning yourself in one of the most affluent and resilient market in Singapore. Okay, and if we take a look at this buyer profile, right, we can actually see that it's very different from those investor-heavy districts. For this, over 80% of the household are actually owner-occupied. So which means people buy here to stay and they won't really sell. So imagine if you are a buyer that comes today and you are planning to probably flip a few times, you would actually be able to target these own stay buyers. It is important because it's a low density family focused project. Okay, exit plan. So this is actually Bukit Timah's planning map. Around the sand, right, we can see that there are already like several upcoming residential plots at Holland Link, Turf City and Dunman Road, and there are smaller sites as well. So most of these launches, they are not launched yet. They will likely enter the market in next year to 2028. But once their land bids are higher, right, their launch prices will also be higher. So what this means that if you enter the sand today at 2002 to 2003 PSF, by the time these projects comes up, your unit will actually look very attractive based on price for the resale market. So that's why we say your exit strategy, right, is already planned by URA. Yeah. And moreover, you're actually holding through a transformation phase here in Upper Bukit Timah, the Beauty World area. Turf City is also going to be a very big project that is upcoming. There will be up to 15 to 20,000 units that are building in the time to come, and it's actually very close to the sand. Earlier, I mentioned that Bukit Timah Market and Food Centre, right? It has actually closed last year, so it's going to make way for the new Bukit Timah integrated development that will be completed in end 2029. Okay, so this new integrated hub, it will actually include the Bukit Timah CC, the hawker centre, indoor sports hall, neighbourhood primary school, and other community amenities around. Also, with the Cross Island Line coming up in 2030, this actually brings you closer to different location. Like King Albert Park is actually just one stop away from Beauty World MRT. Maju station is one stop away from King Albert Park. Alright, so I've actually come to the end of my sharing. If you'd like to visit the SHOWFLAT of the Sand, please DM me. Feel free to WhatsApp me or even follow my Telegram channel. I can go through a detailed breakdown together with you to see if this project actually suits your needs and your requirement that actually brings you closer to your goal. And I've also done a full analysis of different floor plans. So if you would like to have them, please feel free to DM me. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Education belt. So there are quite a number of primary schools and renowned higher institutes